Indian motorcycle manufacturers will start to dominate the landscape very, very soon. So what am I talking about here? Norton motorcycles here in the UK, they kind of got bought out by Bajaj last year, and it seems as if that we're talking about a revival of Norton. Many of the channels are still and publications were still talking about Norton in terms of, hey, look, they're still going to be producing this V4S and this their cafe racer. I think they might have missed the boat here. They might have missed the news that came out, so the press release saying that Norton have discontinued these bikes. They've discontinued, apparently, allegedly, and also the Commando 961, they've discontinued these bikes. So they're apparently coming out with new bikes, about 6 or 7 bikes, whatever it is, and we're gonna find out soon, very, very soon. What's this got to do with India? India are buying up big chunks of named motorcycle manufacturers, just like China was doing with a lot of the European brands a few years ago as well. India have been doing the same. KTM are doing it. We've got Norton. We've got Indian motorcycle manufacturers who have also opened up. TVS. They've just opened up, or they've just bought out an engine manufacturers in Italy as well. And they're going to set it up as a global centre of excellence. And basically, they've acquired the Italian tuning and development company Engines Engineering, SPA, and basically they're going to put a lot of money in there into developing bigger and better engines and performance engines. So what does this mean? It means that the trickle down effect is that a lot of these engines are going to be in future motorcycles. A lot of these engines that are India backed, they're going to be featured and replicated across many, many ranges. Many motorcycles in different manufacturers. Perhaps it really depends how they market these engines as well, and if they sell these rights to other manufacturers. So there's Indian motorcycle manufacturers they've been feeling their way into other brands. BSA, for example, they re-energized them, haven't they? And also they're going to bring out a couple of new bikes with BSA at really discounted prices. So I keep on saying, watch out for the Chinese brands, good bikes. Watch out for the Indian brands come in as well. But sometimes when you talk about the Indian brands, you're really talking about, that's TVS and Bajaj and Hero, one of their bikes that they're going to come and bring out to the West. What I'm starting to feel now more and more is that they're not so concerned about bringing those bikes over. They're actually more concerned about occupying existing brands in the West and then building upon that. Interestingly, KTM are being urged by their parent company here now, Bajaj, to move all their production, move everything over to India, to Asia. And they're saying, it's very much similar to what Triumph have done. Well, Triumph haven't done it all. Triumph, what they do is they've got different manufacturing assembly plants, and they sort of move their production according to where it's most financially viable. Yes, they've got it in the Far East as well, but they do a little bit here in the UK, and I believe they do some in Brazil. Let me know if I'm wrong there. But this is what they're saying for a KTM. With all the problems that KTM had, actually what they need to do is shift it all over to India. Again, Indian might, Indian muscle, Indian know-how, just buying up or buying into major brands and dictating what goes on in the future. And you kind of think, well, does this really mean anything? Does this change anything to the end user, the end purchaser? Does it really make a difference whether this motorcycle is made in Europe or it's made in Asia, it's made in India, whatever? It's about the quality at the end of the day. Now, some brands, this is a very sensitive area. Of course, I'm talking of the likes of Harley Davidson, for example, right? It's a very sensitive issue. However, with other brands, it possibly isn't a sensitive issue. What they're really looking at is to say, is it a quality product, and does it remain a quality product after you've had it for 2 or 3 years, or does it start to have major flaws in the design? Is there rust appearing all over it? This is where we're going to start to see more and more influence by Indian manufacturers. I believe it's in the investment in well-known Western brands. It's not only about what those motorcycles manufacturers are doing in India and in Asian markets. It's also to do with how they're working with other major brands, how they're influencing them, and how they're going to be developing new products over the next few years. Very interesting times. As I said, we're looking at this kind of thing happening with Chinese manufacturers and their relationships with Western brands as well. Obviously, you've got Indian motorcycle manufacturers. They're also in relationships with, obviously, KTM, with Norton, with Triumph, Hero, with Harley Davidson as well. So there's already a lot of cross-fertilization there, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it, because let's face it, that's where all the success is coming from. That's where all the money is coming from, and that's where you've got a nation that's still buying hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of motorcycles each year. And this is where the major manufacturers are always trying to get a foothold. It's no surprise that the likes of Honda are always investing heavily in India as a market for their motorcycles, and this is where they've seen the biggest rise in their market share over the last couple of years as well. And I believe they've even opened up a couple of plants there as well to continue that and produce the bikes there. And that, if you're producing motorcycles with a cheap labor force and raw materials there as well, why would you produce them elsewhere, especially if those bikes are going to be for that market? It kind of makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. So TVS buying up engine engineering plants from Europe. In Italy, we've got Bajaj just looking at KTM, saying shifting their ownership as well. We've got more Indian motorcycle manufacturers buying into well-established Indian brands, and then you kind of start asking questions. Would they, in Indian motorcycle manufacturer, would they go after other Western brands? Would they go after or have a relationship with an American brand? Would they go and invest in something like a newer company like Buell for the future, or maybe Indian, or perhaps even Harley Davidson? Yes, you heard it here first. This is what I've heard. That's all I will say. I will say no more. But if it becomes a thing in the future, you heard it here first. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, keep on watching the videos, and I'll catch you again. Bye now.